Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today I'll have guests on from the Troup County government as well as the LaGrange Police Department. So you want to stay tuned for those interviews in just a moment. But before we get to our commercial break, I want to invite everybody to come out to Whitetails Ridge on May the 25th for a series of shows that will be taking place there. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment to start the show. Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have on our Troup County Tax Commissioner, Gary Wood, that will be talking about the birthday tax board. Gary, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alton.
Well, it's a pleasure to sit down and we want to clear up first a little bit of thing. First of all, Gary, when we say tax commissioner, a lot of people say, okay, that's the guy that assesses me on my property tax and all those things, correct?
That's correct, but that is incorrect.
That's incorrect, right? Talk a little bit about what you actually do there, Gary.
Well, Alton, as you know, our job is to collect the taxes and to register vehicles. The responsibility of appraising property is the job of the tax appraisal's office, and of course the millage rate set by the county, the school, and the state of Georgia.
Okay.
And I bill out based on those numbers that come from outside sources.
Okay, well, very good. Well, in talking about taxes a little bit, Gary, I know there's one that you do have your finger on the pulse, and that's every year we talk about, you know, on our birthday, we get a birthday gift from the Troup County Tax Assessor's Office, Commissioner's Office there, and that we call it our birthday tax. But recently there was the legislature passed a bill, House Bill 386, it's a car tax title tax-free elimination. Talk a little bit about that and how it's going to impact the voters of Troup, or the Troup County residents.
Alton, this new bill is going to be a good bill for the taxpayers or the people who own vehicles.
Okay.
Whether they purchased it recently or they purchased it in the past. In the past, when we had it, let's just say you had an ad valorem tax, which we call the birthday tax, which is when you come in every year on your birthday and you register your vehicle, get the new decal, and then you also pay ad valorem tax based on the value of that vehicle. Now, effective March the 1st of 2013, they're going to do away with the birthday tax and go to a one-time title fee. And what that means is that if you go and you purchase a car today, after March the 1st of 2013, if you purchase a car, you will not pay sales tax, and this is the good part.
Okay.
And right now, when you go and buy a vehicle, you pay 7% sales tax. That will be going away. You'll purchase your $30,000 vehicle, or whatever price vehicle it is you purchase, and you will not pay a sales tax. You will come into the tax office, and when you register that vehicle, you will pay the tax office 6.5% for a one-time title fee.
Okay.
Now, so that's basically, or actually that's 0.5% less than sales tax. And then once you do that, then every year going forward, you do not pay that birthday tax anymore. You just come in and pay $20 for the new sticker for the next year, and so that's the only cost you'll have going forward after January the 1st, 2013.
Okay, so it actually goes into effect March of 2013, and then we will pay 6.5% to your office as opposed to the 7% sales tax when you purchase the vehicle, correct?
That is correct. And then that money is, of course, sent to the state, and then the state, of course, will send us our portion back.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good. Now, let's say, and I know, you know, people may have vehicles that they've had in their possession for a time period, Gary, and they may want to sell to a family member, or, you know, a lot of for sale by owners. How does this new law affect someone that has a vehicle that they're selling?
What the new law does include casual sales. So as you know, presently, you know, if you buy a new car from a dealership, etc., of course you pay your sales tax.
Okay.
But you do not pay sales tax if I buy your car out, or you buy mine. And now there still is no sales tax, but once I buy the car from you, which we call a casual sale, then when I come in to register that vehicle, I will have to pay 6.5% title fee based on the value of that vehicle. Okay,
based on the value, okay.
Right.
Now, does that continue, or is that a one-time?
And that will be a one-time fee also, yeah. Anything that's purchased after, again, the law goes into effect March 1st of 13, anything that's purchased after that date, you don't have an option. You will pay the one-time title fee of 6.5%, which again is still saving you 0.5% versus sales tax. But now, if you have a vehicle that you purchased prior to January 1 of 2012, you will maintain an ad valorem tax every year until you sell that vehicle. And I've just backed up a little bit, so let me clarify myself.
Okay.
I'll explain to the public that, again, the law goes into effect March the 1st of 2013. We're talking new vehicles here or casual sales purchased after that date. But there's also going to be a buy-in opportunity, which means anyone who purchased a car after January 1 of 2012 this year, when you come in next year after March the 1st to renew, you're going to have an opportunity to opt into the one-time title fee. And what this means is, if you can show me or my staff how much sales tax you paid on that vehicle you purchased after January 1, we're going to give you credit for that sales tax, and we're also going to give you credit for any ad valorem you may have paid between the time you purchased that and in the renewal period again for you. And so there's a possibility when you come in, the 6.5% may be enough that you don't pay any money. You know, we just make the conversion for you, and then you just move forward renewing your decal every year for $20, but no ad valorem tax. But anybody prior to who purchased a car prior to January 1 of 2012 will continue to pay the birthday tax, ad valorem tax, each year on their birthday, as they presently do.
And I guess the thing about that, if you know they have to continue to pay it, the valuation of the vehicle is decreasing, so they'll pay a little bit less each year, correct?
Absolutely, and it seems to average about 5% a year. The state values vehicles, not even the tax appraisal office values vehicles. Those values are set by the state of Georgia, and it seems to be an average decrease about 5% a year.
All right, well, very good. So that goes into effect March the 1st of 2013, so just want to make sure that the viewing audience is aware of that. And I want to ask a question, and I know people may have trailers and lease vehicles, Gary, and I don't know if we have all the law in on that just yet, but can you speak to that a little bit for us?
Alton, one of my employees and myself went to Atlanta a couple of weeks ago because when a law was passed, and this is a good law, I feel it will be a good law, but passing a bill is one thing, but implementing it is another.
Absolutely.
And so that's why we were in Atlanta. Not only were the people from the Revenue Department there, a host of people from the Revenue Department, the state attorneys were there, legislators were there, several dozen tax commissioners were invited to be there, and to discuss how we're going to implement this, as well as a staff of gratis people. That's the people who handle the informational part, computer part of motor and registration. And so they were there because this affects every one of us.
That's right.
And so we were there trying to figure out how we were going to implement this, and because the bill passed actually the day we were there, and the governor signed off on it. So there's a lot of work to be done. I understand the bill will probably be amended in some forms, in some areas, and to answer your question about the trailers and lease vehicles as an example, that has not been determined yet, how that's going to be affected in the process. So, there are a lot of things that we're still looking at, but what we do know for sure is what I've discussed so far is that it will be a 6.5% title fee and going forward.
Well, very good. We'll just kind of look for those updates coming from your office in the near future then, Gary. We'll get you back on,
Sure, that'd be great.
Now, I know that there was a new tag, too. The Georgia state has a new tag, and I know that you have a couple of those examples in your office, and I think we're going to have those displayed here. Talk about the new tag, Gary, and how people can access those.
That is actually went into effect May the 7th, which was Monday. The implementation of the new Georgia tags, and I don't know if you recall, but about a year ago, or last summer, there was a contest that the state made available to the public to send in designs for different types of tags that they thought would be what the state of Georgia would be proud to carry on back their vehicles. And so they came up with a winner, and the lady who won that contest was actually Linda Soseby from Forsyth, Georgia. And she came up with a tag that's that's behind us now.
It
has, I'm not for sure if that's a dogwood or a peach tree, but then peaches and at the bottom there. And it's a very attractive tag, and that was the most popular tag that was presented, and that was the winning tag. Okay. So we have an opportunity to purchase, to have that tag on the back of your vehicle. Okay. Now the way this works, the state has got it set up where in 1997, there was the Georgia On Your Mind tags.
That's right.
That went out. And anyone who has the old Georgia On Your Mind tag, when they come in on their birthday to renew, will get one of these new tags.
Okay. And the one with the dogwood?
The one with the dogwood.
Okay.
Or they'll have a option to go to the plain tag.
Okay.
So you've got the dogwood with the peaches on it, or just a plain peach in the center.
Okay.
And those tags would be issued at no additional cost, just a $20 registration, but no additional cost, if you have the Georgia On Your Mind series tags, which again was produced in 1997. Right. If you have a WWW tag or anything other than the Georgia On Your Mind, when you come in on your birthday, you can still request one of these tags, the new tags, but it'll cost you $8 to do so.
Okay, so the new one of the design will cost you $8.
That's right. Okay. Or you can just keep it, what you have on your vehicle, and just pay the $20 registration. But if you'd like to have one of the new tags, you can get it for $8. Right. And if you have a specialty tag now, one where the specialties are many, wildlife, breast, cancer, the hummingbird, which is wildlife. If you have one of those tags and you choose to give those up, you can give those tags up and get one of these without paying an additional charge.
Okay.
Now let me say something also that I left out. If you happen to not have the Georgia On Your Mind tag, but one of the WW tags, and you come in and you want to get one of the new tags for $8, you can do that, but you have to bring your old tag into the office and turn it in.
Okay. All right.
And so that's important. If you're out there and you want the new tag, but you don't qualify for the free one, then be sure you bring your old tag in with you.
Okay. Well, as we close up, Gary, if anybody have questions about the new elimination of the birthday tax or the new tag, go ahead and give them your office number so they can give you a call if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely. And Alton, again, thanks for having me on. The public can contact my office at 883-1620. Myself or my staff will be more than happy to serve you as we do on a daily basis, any way we possibly can. That's what we're there for. And so if you have any questions, no matter what it is, you give us a call. We'd be glad to help you or answer any questions you might have.
Well, Gary, I want to thank you for coming on today and sharing this information, and thank you for all the work that you've done there, and your staff. I know every time I come in there, it's very pleasant, very professional. So I just want to say thank you to you and your staff for all the hard work you've done too as well.
Thank you, Alton.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment. Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Now I have one of LaGrange's finest, Detective Chris Pritchett, that will talk to us a little bit about some cyber crimes and other things that are happening in our community. Chris, welcome to the show.
Good to see you, Alton.
It's always a pleasure to sit down with you. Now, you know, Chris, before we came on, you and I were kind of talking a little bit, because I think I may be maybe a decade or two older than you, but you know, how kids get access to information, good and bad, now has dramatically changed. And we want to talk a little bit about some things that parents can do, that the LaGrange Police Department is doing to kind of help protect our kids, and that's cybercrime. Talk a little bit about that for us, and what is that all about?
Well, cybercrime encompasses just anything that involves the internet or a computer. And now with the summer approaching, we're going to have kids that are at home, they're out of school, parents still have to go to work, so unsupervised children essentially are going to be sitting at home. And it's important that I think the parents need to know that the police department is here. We are a resource for them, such as the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. That's part of the task force that I work on, and along with my partner, Detective Nelson. And we do presentations, and that's throughout the year. Cyber safety presentations, maybe an hour or two that we could get into a group and discuss some of the things that are out there. And show parents in the community some visual representations of things that are out on the internet and how they can get around and try to help themselves, really.
Well, you know, when you talk about doing some presentations, let's say, for example, the kids are getting ready to get out of school, and someone has a neighborhood watch program or whatever, you all can go to those programs, take your information and share with them?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
very good, good. How can they contact you? Because we want to get that out early. How can they contact your office so that if there may be someone that's interested in doing that? How can they get in touch with you all?
The best way to get in touch with myself or my partner is through our email address, and
Okay.
mine is cpritchett, and that's CPRITCHETT at LaGrangeGA.org.
Okay.
And my partner's is W Nelson
Okay.
at LaGrangeGA.org.
Okay, very good. Now, you're in the social networking, and you know, kids go out there, and we talk about, you know, the technology today. You got your iPhones, you got your iPads, there's all these various other things. What would you advise parents, you know, as a detective, what would you advise parents to do?
Parents need to keep track of what's going on with their child's social networking. Everybody's got a Facebook page. I don't think a lot of folks realize, though, that Facebook has an age limitation of 13. And so they need to be on there. They need to look at their parental controls and set that kind of stuff up. So somebody's got to, I wouldn't say watch over them while they're gone, but have that control in place while they're gone at work and the child's at home. There's so much stuff out there on the internet, and the internet's well more than what most people think it is. You know, we think of the World Wide Web, www, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there's so many other parts. I think we actually broke it down one time in a class I went to, and that's only 4%.
4%.
That's 4% of what's actually the internet.
Oh my.
The rest, I mean, 96% of just wild stuff that would really blow your mind if you ever looked at it.
Absolutely.
But as for the teens out there, I mean, I strongly encourage that they carefully review a networking site before they get onto it.
Okay.
And it's because some sites allow for a defined community of users to access the content, and then some sites will allow everybody to look at it. So they need to get on there. And Facebook has a lot of privacy settings, and it can take, it's tedious, because I control the department's Facebook page, and there's a lot of going through, and there's certain things you can click on and you don't want everybody to see, and you only want some people to see. But really spend the time to go through there and click on the proper channels.
Okay. All right. Let me ask this question, Chris. If a kid, you know, because I know sometimes, you know, I've been on the computer, and you may go typing in one thing, think you go into a site that's going to, you know, give you some information for a project or something other. You might hit a stroke key incorrectly, and next thing you know, you're like, whoa, where did that come from? Let's say if a kid has been sent pictures or something that's inappropriate, what should he or she do?
Kids need to, my favorite site is Google. But by all means, if they see something, they can send me an email, they can send my partner an email, them same email addresses. They can report anonymously through Cyber Tip Line. But if they think about Google, they can go into Google and just type in, if they forget any of this stuff, go into Google and type in report a crime. And it's going to pull up different ways for them to report. We have at the police department that tip 411, that's an anonymous tip service that folks can report through their cell phone.
Okay.
That comes, that is 847-411. If you send LaGrange, if you type the word LaGrange in the body and then send it to 847-411, you just type LaGrange and then space and whatever you want your tip to be. It will come to, well, it beeps me, my partner, the administration section, and there's a few other of the command staff that we have down there that have it hooked up so that they know that the tip came in.
Okay.
And it's anonymous. We have no idea who it comes from. So I strongly encourage that more people use that tip 411.
Okay.
It's an awesome feature.
Okay, very good. Let me ask the question too, Chris, because we were talking before we came on. Why do you think most kids don't report things? And what's the statistical number of kids that actually do report things that inappropriately sent to them?
You know, the unfortunate reality is most kids, we're looking at 1 in 10 females, no, I'm sorry, 1 in 10 boys will be sexually victimized before the age of 18. 1 in 5 girls will be victimized before the age of 18. Out of those, 1 in 3 will actually report it and tell somebody. And that's a shame. But I think that there's a few reasons that they won't tell. It's because they don't know who to tell. They may feel embarrassed about what's happened, or just think maybe it's just not a big deal. But by all means, I think that we need to encourage them to tell. You know, we need to know about this kind of stuff, because this has, with technology now, and it's just overflowing with the amount of sex crimes that are out there on the internet. And we need to know it so we can enforce it, enforce the law.
Absolutely. And you gave a great way of anonymously doing that at the tip 411, which comes to you or your partner or down to the police department, because all in all is all about safety. And I know that you want to mention a couple of websites where parents can go to as well to get, I guess, tons of information. Share those websites with us if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I also want to point out, though, that when kids are making their posts on Facebook or whatever networking site they use, that they be mindful not to put their birthday accessible to other people. Of course, not their social security number. Never use a full name. Their photos, and I don't think a lot of folks realize, but the photos that they post, they need to be mindful of what's in the photograph, because a background will tell a lot about where somebody is. If you happen to catch a sign in the background that maybe has an address or something, that it's small things like that a lot of people don't pay attention to. You just see a great picture.
Very good.
And of course, when kids are posting photos online, if it's not something that they would put in their living room with their parents to see, I wouldn't recommend putting it online either.
Oh, okay.
But some of the websites that I think parents can visit is missingkids.com. That's www.missingkids.com, and NetSmarts, NETSMARTZ. .org.
Okay.
Two great websites. Missing Kids is actually the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. It's got a lot of statistics on there, but it says in there 800,000 kids are reported missing every year.
Whoa, 800,000?
Yep, 800,000 every year. 2,000 kids will be victimized every year. That's too many. And out of those 800,000, a lot of them are recovered. But even if one's not recovered, that's one too many.
That's right.
Netsmarts.org is a wonderful website. It's very user-friendly. It's got a lot of resources for parents and teachers, and it's laid out in such a way that, you can see the tab. It'll say parents, but it's got readings in there to share. You can kind of give you a conversation starter for getting your kids involved with talking about what's online. And it's got just a wealth of information. It's got PowerPoint presentations and videos and ads. It's really something that I would advocate that the parent looks at.
Okay, all right. And those are two great websites. You say that the parents can go out there, and again, it's all about safety, because as we realize, graduation is coming up. Kids are excited about the fact they're graduating in the summer. Hopefully someone will be working during the summer and not spending a lot of time at home, because, like you were saying earlier, they could be in the parking lots with their iPhones, they could be in school, with their iPads and things of that nature. But they have to realize that they need to protect themselves, and the parents are the best mechanism to help them do that. And then, of course, we have the LaGrange Police Department to also help with that.
Yeah, my partner and I, we've spent countless hours in training with the Department of Justice and the GBI and several other agencies, learning cybercrime and learning how to enforce the laws and find the bad guy online, because they are out there.
That's right.
I think a lot of people don't realize how many there are out there, but the internet is a virtual world.
It really is, and like I said, it just opens you up to the world itself. And then again, we're talking about the cybercrimes and how the kids can protect themselves. If you don't mind, Chris, give them your contact information one more time, because we hope that your phone will ring so that parents can kind of go ahead and contact you all and say, look, come and talk to us about these various other types, or you know what, my son wanted to share something with me, or my daughter shared this with me, should I have reported it? So go ahead and give them your contact information.
The best way to reach myself or my partner is through our email address, and that's cpritchett, CPRITCHETT at LaGrangeGA.org, and then WNelson@LaGrangeGA.org.
Okay, very good, very good. Well, Chris, it's always a pleasure, and I know that you guys' hands will be full this summer coming on and everything. So, but again, we just want to thank you for coming on and share this information, because there's a saying, the children are our future, so we have to protect them now and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside, because if they don't understand that they have beauty inside, then they will allow themselves to be drawn into things of this nature that could negatively harm them or, fatally harm them. So I want to thank you and your partner for doing all that you all do for the LaGrange Police Department and the community to protect our youth.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, Alton, and getting the word out. It's important that we safeguard our children.
Absolutely. Well, Detective, it's always a pleasure. We look forward to you sitting down with you again soon.
Thanks, Alton.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining for City Week this week. My guests have been from the Troup County Government, Gary Wood, Tax Commissioner, as he talked about the elimination of the so-called birthday tax. So if you have questions, contact his office about that. And also I had on from the LaGrange Police Department, Detective Chris Pritchett, and he talked about cybercrimes and things that families and children can do to protect themselves against cybercrimes. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed both of those interviews. And as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.